Hey guys, and welcome back to Culture Boys, a show where two guys just want to have a chat. I'm Nathan, and as always, I'm joined by Pepe, and this week we've got a very special episode. We have a new guest. Woo! Another one of our internet friends, and friends in real life, Fliss from the Powered Up Couple. Fliss, welcome to our stupid show.
Thank you ever so much for having me. You've got the better of the two of us, I'd say. Lovely to have been invited. Thank you.
No problem. This has been a long time coming. I promised them an episode probably a year ago, so I'm finally making good on my promises.
Bit by bit.
Yeah,
we're
slowly.
Getting there.
We're getting past the list. We're getting through the list.
But before we get into the nitty-gritty of the episode, Fliss, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Powered Up Couple, what you guys do?
So as you can kind of tell, Powered Up Couple, so there's two of us. So there's myself and Matt, and we decided to start streaming I think it's been about a year now.
God, that's mad.
I know, it's crazy. So we started off, because the first thing we started to stream, I believe, ever was Resident Evil 8. We got it release day.
Dang.
And Matt was, the horror fanatic. I say horror fanatic, loosely. He played through it, and it wasn't the scariest Resident Evil, I will say, admittedly. 7 was that for me, but it was great fun to watch him play through. Since then, he has played through Alien. I can't remember which one it is. It's the
Isolation, isn't it?
Yeah, Isolation. You know what? They're all the same to me. They're all just putting my hands over my eyes. He's played Alien Isolation. He has played through Outlast most recently, and maybe planning to do the second one. Now, on the flip side, there's myself, who does the more comfy, homey, relaxed things. So,
well, up until recently, surely.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say Kingdom Hearts recently is like super comfy and whatever, but
No.
Man, that game is stressful.
It is. It is stressful. It's worse because Matt has never played Kingdom Hearts. He's never.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, he has never played it. I personally picked it up on a whim when I was about 13. It was on one of those offers, back when Electronics Boutique existed instead of Game.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I only got it because my sister was kind and spotted me an extra $5.
Nice.
And it's been a game that's very close to my heart. I love every aspect of Kingdom Hearts. I'm literally, as you said, I'm recording it myself. We're going through it together, and it's just crazy how much it's changed from Kingdom Hearts 1 all the way up into Kingdom Hearts 3. And the lore is crazy. And it's...
Yeah.
It's trying to explain it to somebody else without spoiling it, but then not having it get super convoluted. But that is exactly how I'm representing it. I'm saying every time, look, it's a little bit complex. There's a lot of this and that.
I mean, it's hard not to try and explain that game without having like a million qualifiers. I've tried to do it myself. I got into Kingdom Hearts, I think when 3 came out, I went and bought those compilations on PS4, so I played through 1, 2, 3, couple of the side ones. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's like trying to explain to someone oh yeah, so there's this, right? But then, okay, so it's going to get difficult. But then there's this, and then it leads to this, but then that sort of led to that. But then because of something else, this happened, and you're just it's that meme of, Charlie from Always Sunny. It's like pointing everywhere, papers and red string and everything. It's just this is the story of Kingdom Hearts.
And and let's not forget Kingdom Hearts 4 it's already underway. There's a trailer.
Oh god, yeah. It looks too hyper realistic in my opinion.
It's got a reason for that though.
Yeah, it does.
What is it?
I won't spoil it for you. There's a reason for it.
Oh god, okay, fine. I started playing through Kingdom Hearts a year ago, because I got really far into 2 when I was younger. Didn't play 1, so I kind of had a loose expectation of what the hell's going on. I started playing 1 last year and then dropped off it for some reason. Typical. You probably go back into a previous episode last year and probably find me talking about Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I think we did actually.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did, and then I dropped off it.
I really hope someone's got a list somewhere
of how many
of every game you've mentioned in an episode that you started and then dropped and then started and dropped.
Yeah, I could probably compile a list myself, yeah.
I would love to see a master list. Like that'd be amazing.
There's a lot on that. There's a lot. Look, like it's a new year. It's October and the whole year after Kingdom Hearts, but I'm getting on Persona 5 again, so that's something. Anyway, the real reason why we have you here today, Fliss, is we've got a certain subject to talk about, haven't we?
Yes. So, I, as much as I love anime, as much as I love everything to do with Japan, the one thing that I specialize in especially is make your choice. Make your choice games. Games have a emotional connection to you and how they make you feel, especially when you're having to make difficult decisions in high stressful times, or simply put, you're just deciding on what, who you want to hang out with. Who do you, speaking of Persona, hey, who do I want to go and hang out with today? Do I want to go get buff with the cat? Do I want to play some darts with somebody? Or do I just want to chill out and, go after best girl, which is Makoto?
Man, arguable. Okay, it's what It
is. She's my preference.
Okay, hold on. I'm still like quite early in Persona 5 at the moment. I haven't got past Futaba's Palace right now, so I'll try and say like no spoilers on that because I'm still making my way through it. But like, I'll take your word on it.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, so again, like I said, so it's very much how games do make you feel. So quite a lot of these games have come through Telltale.
Mm-hmm.
So The Walking Dead, going through that story, going through the entire story. I won't spoil anything, for those of you who are still playing through it. I only ever completed the first 2 seasons.
I completed the first season.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking, I'll say, some of the choices.
Oh, those games, man. Jesus.
Yeah, they do.
Rough. That's the only word to describe it.
It is rough. It's taking care of people and making tough decisions. I mean, to anybody, The Walking Dead is about a zombie apocalypse, so of course you're going to have to make decisions about who survives, who dies, or simply put, how you respond to people. So
yeah,
you put yourself in their shoes. So some people play games through and they play completely opposite. So like someone's very lawful, very open, honest, and some of the people decide, hey, I'm going to be chaotic. I'm just going to get everybody killed. I don't care. My supplies, this and that.
I'll tell you what it kind of comes down to for me with those kind of games. Like there's always like those 3 options, isn't there? When when that you like a character comes up to you and asks you something.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a right response, there's a wrong response, and there's a chaotic response.
Yeah.
My instinct is always go for the chaotic response, but I'm too chicken to do it.
Oh, okay.
I'm one of those people that I'm always like, I want to choose the chaotic response, but I also want to try and like follow the story and follow the game how the character would answer it.
See, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I always play as me. Even though it's, like, oh, there's a story. I'm like, but how have I personally interacted with that person? Because if that NPC's a dick, I'm like, well, guess what? I'm going to be a dick. You want to treat me like shit? I'm going to treat you like shit. Like, fuck you, bro.
It depends on how, like, because I think I feel a little bit less attachment if the character is kind of like a blank slate. If the character like literally has no personality whatsoever, I will more lean into that. Like Saints Row is probably an example of that, I'd say.
Fair, yeah.
If I was going to do anything.
Yeah.
Whereas something like Persona, or arguably The Walking Dead, I probably would go for the more lawful answer because realistically, the main character in Persona is quite a just character. Like he's doing this for reasons or whatever. And so,
yeah,
like everyone has a motive in The Walking Dead, but obviously you want to help the camp as much as possible. So I always kind of choose a choice which I would think, okay, I need to help the camp by doing this. Is what the character would have wanted. But blank slate characters, Avatar kind of characters, which don't really have any lines whatsoever, I kind of feel like I need to just give my own opinion there, but it's a different reaction for something else.
I always use these experiences, whether the character's like blank slate or not. It's almost like how I learn about myself in a strange twist of fate.
Interesting.
I always just end up putting myself in it because I'm like so immersed in the experience. And I'm like, that's me. How would I answer this question? And I tell you, a game like The Walking Dead, for example, you learn what you're really going to do in a zombie apocalypse. Everyone's always like, oh yeah, if it kicks off, I'd do this, I'd be ready, I wouldn't be ready. Like, everyone always seems to think they know, and then I'm like, have you tried yet? Because if you play The Walking Dead, you'll learn a lot about yourself.
You do.
What you think is the right answer and what you think is the wrong answer often goes completely opposite. And,
Yeah.
you're never prepared, bro. You are never prepared.
You can't be. I mean, like I said, like you say, people say, "Oh, I'm super prepared. Look at my collection of like katanas, my, all my bladed weapons and things." And
Whilst you were out talking to girls, I was learning the blade.
yeah, exactly. It's like, first mistake, you're using bladed weapons. They are going to blunt, they are going to chip. You are not going to be able to find a whetstone. The best thing, and make a note, people, the best thing you can have technically is a metal baseball bat, because it will wear down slower and it's silent and it's quick, but your main and best weapon is just being smart and thinking ahead. So I think I would die.
Boy, that sounds like a quote. I love that.
I openly admit I'd die. You know what? I'd end up dying because...
Yeah, I definitely would too.
I know in those situations, again, I very much play how I would play. And I'm too kind. I'm too trusting. I admittedly know when someone's like messed me about, if they've betrayed me, I'll still be like, I can redeem you. You can redeem yourself. You can still be part of my team. Usually they're like, nah, F you. Get bent. Leave me alone. I'm still trying to murder you. Just literally knife in hand again. So it's okay. It's okay. You can be good. You can put the knife down. No, I'd much rather stab you. But yeah, no, hands up, I would probably die pretty quickly.
I feel like I would just die from recklessness.
Yeah.
At some point, I just get pissed off, lose all reasoning, and then there you go. That was the moment I died. Like, I ran off into a crowd of zombies, like, no, fuck you all, and then got bit, and I'm like, okay, cool, well, I'm dead.
Well, you run into a crowd of zombies, you ain't just gonna get bit. You're gonna be torn to pieces. If you want to go for
getting bit, it'd be like I won the fight, but I still came out like injured. No, you're right.
You literally are one of those like side characters in the Walking Dead series, which is like they'll last about 10 episodes. Like everyone gets really pissed off with him, and then you're like, you know what? I don't care that he got ripped apart. With that kind of
I'd
action.
be lucky if I got to 10, man. I'd probably get to like 5 at most, and then everyone's like, yeah, writing him off. He's gone. Dickhead over there.
Oh, what did he have in his body? Can we loot him? Oh, he has a penknife. Oh, great.
Oh, what a twat. He took all of our best weaponry as well.
Ran into the crowd of zombies.
Yeah.
You're literally that guy. Fucking hell.
Like I said, I'd lose my cool and then just be like, oh, fuck it, I'm going to go do it myself.
Yeah. Leroy Jenkins.
Pretty much.
If you ever something stupid like the last tin of beans or something like that, you'd be like, those were my beans!
Bruh. Man ran off the beans. I'll be fuming. If Nathan took the beans, you didn't need the beans to go into the zombie fight. You just took them for no reason. You just screwed people over for the sake of screwing people over.
I took them
if you run
to
into...
replenish my energy so I could be hacking and slashing some more, you know?
Nah, don't work like that, bruh.
So I could use my ultimate blade technique I learned from my sensei in his ghost form.
Goodness me.
Oh my god. Oh dear. But yeah, so again, very much so. So I adore a game that lets you play as you wish to play. So I'm a sucker for animals. I adore animals. Anything to do with animals, I will always play to keep them alive. I will always play to do my best with them, because at the end of the day, it's not their choice. They don't have things to, they can't openly speak up and say, hey, I'm starving, hey, I'm injured. So there have been a few games where the choice has been to either lose the you have to, yeah, exactly. It's difficult for me to even say, but it's the whole thing of you have to make a moral decision there. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's just, it's the same with people you grow attached to. So children, the elderly, things like that. And it just puts into perspective the kind of person you really are and how would you react in that situation.
That just brings back memories of a super early episode we did where me and Pepe asked each other like hypothetical questions, and it came down to like, if you had superpowers, would you be good or bad? And I came across real bad for showing my true colors.
Everybody wants to be a hero, but no one wants to be a villain. So villain 100%.
Oh, I would.
This guy, yeah.
It's a lot more fun because you get...
See? See, someone gets it.
Yeah, I understand it.
Someone else gets it.
See, that's the difference between, you hear me and you think, oh, she's so nice, she's so lovely, given the opportunity, villain 100%. And I wouldn't do bad things. I wouldn't do bad things to people. It would be a case of like, I'd rob a bank and then I donate it, essentially. It's like, oh my god, you're such a good person. Yeah, no, just
donate it.
slap a
That's what I
cookie
totally
out, slap a biscuit out of an orphan's mouth.
I mean, I wouldn't hurt people
No.
unless they got in my way.
Oh, exactly. They're they shouldn't have stepped in my way, sort of thing. It's
Yeah, they shouldn't have been ahead of me in the line, but whatever, innit?
yeah, I know they were like 6 places ahead, but they're in the way.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, I'm the supervillain with the power, like.
God, it's like that episode all over again. Fucking hell. God, I'm just sitting here.
It's alright, Pepe. You're safe because you're my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it don't work out. This is gonna be a Sasuke Naruto kind of vibe. You know it's gonna be like that. Like,
Look, it's okay, right? Because in that situation, you then become the leader, and I become your like shadow enforcer. That
Shadow Enforcer.
yeah, that's what happens. In
Yeah, I
Boruto.
know what
Like,
happens. Yeah.
So it's all good, innit? I have my own wacky adventures that aren't maybe 100% legal.
Nathan committing war crimes. I'll be like, oh, Chris, right, mate. I forgive you because you're my friend. Nah, man, you committed war crimes. You killed people.
It's okay, because in that situation, if I go down, you're coming with me because I was doing it on your behalf.
Well, no, that doesn't work like that. Just because you kill someone on someone's behalf doesn't mean the other person goes down as well.
Well, I wouldn't have done it if you didn't ask me to.
It doesn't. I did ask you, motherfucker. Right. Anyway, trying to get back on topic a little bit. What you said earlier about anime and manga, Fliss.
Yes.
And obviously making decisions as well, like visual novels. Is that like a kind of thing you vibe with as well?
Not really.
Okay, fair.
So no, funnily enough. So with visual novels, when I was a bit younger, I remember, I never played through it, but I remember watching quite closely, one of my friends, he played a visual novel where you were a young man who had a heart condition, so you ended up going to this home where there's these other girls who've all got different problems. So, problems, they have all these different
ailments.
Yeah, ailments. So one of them, she's badly burned over her body, so she wears clothing to cover it up, sort of thing. There's one who's blind.
Okay.
There's one who's she's an amputee, so she's only got one arm, but she loves sports and stuff.
Oh god, that's such an anime trope.
It is. And I think there was one more who she had a problem internal. I think she was potentially like she was going to die from an illness.
Oh, okay.
And you go through the game and you basically you pick one you want to kind of get friendly with, obviously, and the story is beautiful. Like, for example, the blind girl. So I have no idea what the name of the game was. So, if you guys find it, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful story. She doesn't know what you look like, obviously, but she paints you, and it's almost exactly like what the main character looks like. And she says about how special you made her feel, how you didn't judge her for not being able to see everything. And you take the time to describe stuff to her. It's absolutely darling. The girl who's got burn marks all over her body, she's afraid of you seeing anything. She gets kind of exposed in the wind at one point, and she's like, I bet you're going to hate me now. You're going to think I'm ugly. You can make the consensual decision to be horrid to each one of these girls and be horrible and break their spirits, or you can choose to build them up.
Yeah.
That's the only visual novel that kind of stands out in my mind. I know the anime Claned has a visual novel game that my friend plays, and I'm not gonna lie, I cried watching the anime. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to sit there and read it because I'm not going to be able to read it through the tears. I'll just be streaming down like, I want to change this. It's not fair. How can you do this? But I might have played games that are considered visual novel because it is just basically a lot of text, but there's been a lot more choices and decisions in there. But it's not the genre I immediately go to, but I'm pretty sure I've participated in it quite a few times and not known.
I mean, loosely through Persona. Persona's, outside of action and animated cutscenes, is pretty much all visual novel.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It makes you think, and it does make you feel, because for a game to be able to convey that feeling, like, I'm pretty sure there's games where there's no sound. It's just the sound of the writing coming up, and you're reading through it, and for it to give you such an emotion. So, joy, sadness, anger. You feel passionate towards the game, and that's something I absolutely love in most games. I mean, I can play anything really most of the time. You can go from Overwatch to like you said, to Persona, all the way down to like Rocket League or something. Each one of those things makes me feel a different thing, but I think it's very impressive, especially for a piece of writing, to make you feel something. Music makes us feel something. To be able to convey an emotion through just simply words is an art form in itself, and I admire that. It's something I try to do myself when I speak, when I do things, whenever I write anything myself. And I think it's just an integral part of not just, the gaming side of things, but again, in books, in animes, in shows in general. And it's very hard to convey it in the right way, because someone might read something in one way and someone else might experience it in a different way. So something that makes me angry might make somebody else feel happy, which is terrible to say.
Yeah, I was going to say that person is
Nathan.
Probably it's like, hey, come on now.
Right, Mr. Villain over there. I want to cause pain to everyone.
That wouldn't be me, because I don't read. All right?
Well, no, like, I said about like slapping a biscuit out of an orphan's mouth. It's like, that makes someone angry, someone else laughs.
What you were saying earlier though, Fliss, is you're like entirely correct. I think especially in like games where there's like obviously there's a compilation of different things, like there's text, there's like design, there's all that shit, and music is a very integral part to that. I feel, because in like most visual novel games or games where you have to make decisions, I put this down to Ace Attorney quite a bit actually. Is like when like you said, just the sound of the text box and there's no music, like that is like a point which like it just like conveys a lot of emotion. Like, oh shit, something's going down here. Like the moment the music stops and it's just the text box, you're like, oh, this is a turning point. Like that's the transition. There is like that always hits you like, oh shit, what's happening now? It always conveys like a sense of mystery to me, and that to me that's like, okay, unreal. You can even argue that it happens in Pokemon sometimes. When like you're just walking through like a town or whatever, and there's like all this jolly music playing, and then it stops. Like your character stops moving. There's a little like second of silence, and then a rival comes over, and you're like, "Oh fuck, who's this dude?" it's like those moments. Like I do like completely agree. Like I know it's kind of like completely different choices or whatever, but like it's the emotions that come through in those moments. Like
the techniques in it.
Yeah,
all the different aspects of creating that experience.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like the audio cues.
Yeah.
Visual cues, all that kind of stuff. Like it's funny because everything we're like talking about, if Matt were on the episode, he'd agree. We both were from the same class, and so it's like most of our class wrote about this exactly in our dissertations, like immersion and emotional responses and sort of like emotions in game. I'm sitting here like taking it all in, and I'm like, God, I'm being sent back like a decade. To sitting there writing a paper about like, oh yeah, there's like this type of immersion and there's the flow state, and it's mad. You guys are bringing me back some like, I want to say nostalgia, but it's more like PTSD.
Yep, that was the plan. As soon as you asked, what did you want to talk about? I was like, hey, did you know that I loved the dissertation you guys tried to do in uni? So I'm going to bring that back right now for you. And I'm going to talk in depth because things have progressed so much since then. So I remember that. I remember Matt asking me to watch so you can very easily see it. Most people have seen it. The death of Sniper Wolf, I believe, in Metal Gear.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd never played the game. I'd never seen anything to do with it. But just listening to the way they spoke to each other, the familiarity, the fact it's loss, I felt emotional. I got a little bit teary. And being able to just convey that, I've never seen it before, but just in that one scene especially. And now you have things that are much, much worse. So one of the very original Persona games, they are out of battle and someone... It's an impossible game to get hold of, but for anybody, spoiler warning, really sorry. It's one of the first one or two. I don't think it was ever released out of Japan, really, unless you got an emulator.
Okay.
They're outside of battle and someone's dying, and one of the player characters is like, so-and-so, res them, you've got to get them up, you've got to revive them. And they're like, I can't do it, I'm sorry. And it's that realization that technically, outside of battle, you can't do squat. You can't heal somebody unless you're in a fight, and that's heartbreaking because they're losing their friend. Their friend is going to die because they're in the real world and they can't use their powers. They can't do anything like that. And I think that connects with a lot of people in the world. So, with the times we're going through, a lot of people lose themselves in these kinds of games, especially because they want to be that hero. They want to be able to say, hey, I got this. Here, Phoenix, Phoenix Feather, Phoenix Down in Final Fantasy, and, Revive in Pokemon, because it's that conscious decision that you want to keep somebody close to you, and through the decisions that you make, you could cause them to die or to be hurt or out of action. You could destroy someone's life. I mean, we ain't talking Sims here, but that's still full of choices. You can choose to live a happy, healthy life that you wish you could live, slowly but surely trying to kill your Sim because they're living a better life. Or, you just put them in a pool and take away the ladder.
See, it's funny because Sims is the only time I actually have never made the conscious choice to be just an utter psycho, right? Because most people are like, oh yeah, I played The Sims and I took away the railing in the pool, or I made just like small rooms with a bunch of like wooden furniture and stuff like that, let them set on fire. I've always tried to keep my Sims alive.
Same.
And in like Sims 3, where you can make ambrosia to like elongate the life, I had one playthrough where like I finally managed to get it, and I tried to keep my Sims alive as long as possible, and one of my original Sims like died from old age because I forgot to have them eat ambrosia one day. I was like broken, and I never went back to that save file. I just started again because I was like, oh, I think it was worse because that original Sim was actually me. I made myself in the game and then I died.
Big mistake. I've done it and I hate myself. It's like,
yeah, it was like I was keeping myself alive, but not because I was like, oh, it's me. It's just because like it was the first Sim, and like by that point I played so long, it was like generation after generation of this family, and then it was like, oh no, he died because you forgot. And I was like, oh god, oh no, and then like I just gave up. I was like, I'm done. I'm starting fresh, new character, new family, new town. Like I'm getting away from it all. I can't have this.
Dear. You're making me want to play again. This is the problem. But
I'm
all the
not over the fact that Nathan
expansions.
killed himself in The Sims unintentionally.
Oh, what a lie.
Well, yeah, it's me. I died of old age, bro. Like, because I didn't eat my ambrosia for breakfast.
It's just the most ridiculous thing.
I know, saying it out loud really sounds stupid, but like that's what happened.
But you cared. You cared that much about that particular Sim because you're like, you'd been going so long, and that's the whole point. Sims doesn't have a story. It doesn't have a plot point or anything like that. You just literally play for fun. And to get emotional over a Sim dying.
Well, like I also like learned every skill, and I was like the ultimate Sim, and I
All
was
that
like,
hard
dying.
work.
It's like,
You know what? I
It's
can
the
understand now.
ultimate Sim. Clearly, you're not the ultimate Sim. You fucking killed yourself.
You died.
You died from not eating one day of ambrosia.
bro, like you had to keep up with that ambrosia. If you missed it too many times, you're not extending your life. You're not extending your life.
I like to think that in like, I don't know, Dragon Ball or something, the key to like immortality isn't just like, I don't know, wishing it by the Dragon Balls. It's just like, just eat ambrosia every morning. You'd be fine.
Well,
like,
I mean, Roshi's clearly doing something to keep himself alive.
Man's got that ambrosia.
Nah, he's got them fucking. What was it in that one filler episode in Super? Like them herbs or something.
Okay, yeah, I don't know about the herb.
Do you not remember like that one episode where Goku and Krillin have to go off and do a thing, and then Krillin got that power boost, and then we never saw it again?
Is that with all the hallucination shit as well?
Yeah, and that's where like Nappa turns up again, and it's like what?
Fucking,
and then we never saw anything to do with any of that again.
Yeah, that was absolutely ridiculous, and yeah, I'm pretty sure I just repressed that from my mind, to be honest.
It's alright. I brought it back to the forefront. You're welcome.
Yeah, because people needed that. Like they need ambrosia in the morning.
It's how we live. It's how I get up. Come on, like it's resonating with me. It's like, oh, I gotta take my pills, otherwise I'm gonna die of old age. All my skills, my level 10 skills.
That character you mentioned earlier in Persona, Fliss, it all could have been fine if they just had the ambrosia.
Yeah. Yeah,
They didn't have to die. You don't need res. You don't need any Phoenix Downs. But just get that ambrosia in.
Just cross over.
Yeah, just
Oh.
I have this, please.
Exactly. No, exactly. But
Oh man, no, Persona's got loads of those moments though, where you just you get attached to someone and something happens,
Mm.
and you're just like, no, come on now, like not them, anyone else but them. Like famously, I've spoiled it all the time, and I mention it all the time. But Persona 4, when Nanako, when she's been captured, I didn't know what I was gonna do, man.
Oh.
I went mental. I was like, we're saving this little girl, and I don't care what happens to you, right? Mr. Kidnapper, I will fuck you up. Do not touch my cousin. I will fuck you up.
that's how I felt. So again, I came in. I played like the Shin Megami Tensei games. Love them, fantastic games. Meant it's a combination of a lot of things. So mythology, gaming, action, and interesting characters. Yeah, you talking about Nanako there, especially as soon as you said Persona 4. First thought was Nanako, what happened with her.
Yeah.
And it really kills me because obviously I was still quite young when I played it, was the whole thing of I felt so bitter about the ending I got because I didn't know there were certain things I needed to have done and get done, and I was like, I there's talks of Golden coming to the PlayStation, like the PS4 and 5. I have it on PC. I just don't know if I can bring my heart to do it again. Also, with that being said, the interactions actually changed from Persona 3 and Persona 4 to how you hung out with people as well, which I really, really liked as well.
Interesting. Okay. In Persona 4, I mean, that being my first Persona, like Golden, every character interaction, but it's just the fact that you're with your uncle and your cousin, and if you like hang out with them, you learn their whole backstory, and it's already tragic as it is. So like you get super attached to them, and then that happens, and you're just like, I will destroy this entire world to save that little girl. Okay, do not question the lengths I will go to.
Just talking about it, thinking about it, so. Yeah, because she's like your little sister almost, and he's like a dad. And you know what? I've just remembered the one thing she always asks you to listen to, and it's the Junez advert, and it's like, every day's great at your Junez. It's like, it's just, I hated it back then because I used to hear it all the time, and I'm like, it makes me think of her, and it's like she was just a sweet little girl who she missed her dad, and she had nobody, and then she gets like a big brother.
It's always hearing big bro. And you're just like, oh, okay, what do you need? Well, I'll do it. Anything.
Exactly.
You tell me and I'll get it.
Exactly.
You want Juness? We'll go. You want me to destroy half the world? We'll do it.
Yeah.
What do you want, Nanako-chan? You want to rule the world or you want to save it? I'll do it. I will do it.
Oh, dear. And then you have Morgana of 5, who, I see it in my sleep. Let's go. I want to go out and do something. We should go to bed.
I was going to say, it's ironic that you say you see it in your sleep because it's like, yeah. You're probably asleep because
go to bed.
You can't do anything. Go to bed. Go to bed.
Oh, you've got a test tomorrow. You got something important to do tomorrow. Yeah, but I really need to go to the hot springs. Nah, go to bed.
I want to go hang out with my friends who's also your teammate, by the way. Nah, go to bed though.
Nah, you've been doing a lot today. You've done a lot. Like
you've been to school.
But you can study. You can study though. You want to study, like, bruh.
Or you can make some like tools for when we go through the dungeons, but you really want to sleep. Like, go to bed. Like, don't build up your skills that I need you to help me. But go to bed.
Yeah.
Go to bed.
Yeah, that's Morgana. So he won. So they had a mascot contest actually for Persona, and Morgana did win.
Really?
Nah, I prefer Teddy.
I love Teddy.
I think Teddy. Yeah, I think Teddy was a.
I love Teddy.
Teddy's a much better mascot.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, nothing against Morgana, but I'm like, come on, man.
He didn't tell me to go to bed. So.
No, but Teddy would also get you in some situations you're not comfortable with because it's Teddy. But
Teddy was also trapped in the TV for quite a bit as well, so he wouldn't have the opportunity to tell you to go to bed. He'd be like, okay, bye, mate. Like, for the longest time, he'd just be like, okay, see you, mate.
Yeah, bye.
Off you
When
go.
You coming back, visit me, please. And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I got school, and then like nothing's gonna happen for a month. I'll see you next month.
Just stay safe in your shadow place.
In your crazy TV world. Bye now.
Bye.
Oh, guys, now that we haven't got to do this in the TV world, you want to hang out in Juness?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, going back to the whole thing of, getting attached to characters, one of the best, I think, games for that is Danganronpa, the Danganronpa series.
Ooh,
I've never played it myself.
Oh,
there's a visual novel for you. That's like even more visual novel than anything else.
it is technically, isn't it? Yeah, because it's a murder mystery basically, and it's deduction, so it's like a more fast-paced Ace Attorney, I'd say, definitely, because you don't get as much exploration and there's not as many buttons to push. But you have your main character, stuff like that. In the third one, there's an interesting character swap.
Okay.
For the main character, like it's unexpected.
Okay.
But each game, because obviously there was the anime of Danganronpa as well, so I watched the anime of the first game, so I knew all the answers. So not cheating at all. So I knew who the end, what it was at end game. But you get connected with certain characters, and you think to yourself as you're going through it, this character has to die. They're gonna die. They're so freaking annoying. I hate them, or they're so pompous. Next thing you know, someone who's got the kindest, sweetest soul, a body has been found. It's like, oh my god, shut up, no, get out of my face, you terrible black and white teddy bear, get out of the way. Boot.
Bloody Monokuma.
Like, I remember playing that game very short, because I just got on a deal at one point, and I played, I think it was the first chapter of number 1. And man, that game stressed me out so much. Like, even in the early stages of that game, I was like, even the way it goes about things, like, oh yeah, you gotta find the words or whatever, and there's all these fucking letters flying about and shit.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, what the fuck? This is too much. Stop. Stop moving.
The minigames get more intricate as you go through the series.
I don't want that. They were intricate in the first chapter.
It's like, some of the words are going to be covered with smoke, so you're going to have to blow it away while they're talking. Remember, guys, you're on a timer.
It's too much. It's too much, man.
No, that sounds like a ball ache.
Yeah, I want to play games that kind of de-stress from everyday life. The last thing I want to do is sit back and stress over, what does this thing do? Why am I doing this? I'm trying to listen to this fucking person. It's too much, man. I think the storytelling in Danganronpa is incredible. I think it's great.
It's lovely.
And the character design is great, different personalities that come through. But bro, the gameplay, when it gets to those little trial bits or whatever, man, I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's why with Danganronpa, I'm quite glad the way I've experienced it is through watching the Game Grumps play it.
Yeah.
Because someone else is doing the hard work and I can just sit and hear them read the dialogue. I see little bits, but I'm not the one stressing out about this mini game or that clue or this thing or that thing. I'm just experiencing it. I guess I'd probably also have a better time if I was just watching the anime, but whatever.
Is the anime even that good?
Yeah, it's not bad actually. I'll say that. Watch it subbed, not dubbed.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, Flame Wars.
If you're gonna watch it dubbed, you need to watch someone parody it, because I'm pretty sure there's some parodies of it. Yes, there is a parody of Danganronpa. Watch the parody if you want to watch it dubbed. You won't quite get the story, but yeah, watch it subbed, because because I'm sorry, they did a couple of characters dirty with the voices. I will say that. Because you don't expect them to sound like that. Junko Enoshima, she's super popular. It's no spoiler for anyone. Hearing her subbed versus dubbed, she sounds the way she's supposed to subbed, but dubbed, she sounds like the biggest airhead ever. It's like someone just turned up and was like, okay, so we want you to sound like every basic white girl. And they're like, okay, I'm on it. And it's like, shit.
With Danganronpa, was it not dubbed anyway in the games?
A little bit.
I think it was.
So did they change that from the anime to the games then?
They might have possibly.
It might just be because there's more, in the anime, you just got to do all the text in it. So, and maybe the voice actors, whichever one came out first, maybe said voice actor is not available or whatever. It's probably real world background stuff in it.
Yeah, with different, if it's a different company as well, right? I can understand that, licensing stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably explained through real world nonsense.
Yeah, I think so. Well, also with the fact of, again, with the mini games of, you need to look out for a specific word and shoot it with another word. You need to probably hear them saying it in your native tongue, I suppose, so that you're not getting, because if you hear them like saying something like, you know, in Japanese, and then you see the words flash up, you might not
Ringo Oishi.
you might not quite catch on with it. But yeah, no, I love Danganronpa. I loved how chaotic it was. You know what, thinking about it, I probably play a lot more visual novels than I think about, because there's a couple of other games that are more spooky.
I was gonna say, like, there's, especially when you're talking JRPGs, I feel like most of them turn into visual novels because it's cheaper to do than have lots of animated cutscenes.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah, it's like, just make a movie already, Square Enix, just make a movie.
I mean, like, because, like, even Yakuza, now they've got more animated cutscenes, and they've got loads of animated cutscenes in the franchise in general since the remakes.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot where it's just a 3D model over the shoulder camera, some text, swap, text, swap, text. Like, it, even that is still sort of visual novel at times.
It can be, yeah, especially. Yeah. Yeah, just on that note, obviously, I know you're a massive fan of Yakuza. Are you looking forward to, like, the pushing on?
I am so hyped. I'm just hyped that the franchise gets to live on, right? Because, like, it came out when I was a kid. I saw my cousin play it. I was probably a bit too young to understand what was going on. But now that I can experience it, and especially because I fell in love with the franchise, the fact that I get to keep playing is just great. And also, it's moving on in the main series, but from all the reveals, like, Kiryu's getting his own spin-off game, so we get to learn about more of what he's doing in the background. Plus, we get to play Ishin, which I never thought we'd get. So, you know, the old samurai game. I'm just down for more Yakuza, you know? Or, sorry, Like a Dragon now, because it's not called Yakuza anymore.
Yeah, it isn't, yeah. Because again, I played some of the older Yakuza games, and the only one I stuck with was Like a Dragon. But then again, I think that was because it was more JRPG than Street Brawler.
Yeah.
And less, you know, big old Yakuza boss popping out from here, there, everywhere to, you know, come on, Kiryu-chan, let's see what you're made of. It's like, oh, not you.
Oh, Majima.
Love him.
I love you so much.
Excellent character.
Kiryu-chan!
Oh dear. But yeah, but again, even then, you know, even in the Yakuza games, there's emotion.
Yeah. Dude, you get super emotionally attached. Like, when Haruka was a kid in Kiwami and, like, Zero and Kiwami 2, I got really into, like, Haruka's story and, like, some of the side characters that come up. I didn't originally care for Majima in Zero, but then, like, you learn some more of his story and it's like, oh, okay, dang. This crazy guy with an eye patch, like, he's got emotions. He's not just, like, about stabbing people and stuff.
Yeah, rocking disguises.
What a sentence. He's got emotions. He just doesn't stab people. Like, he does more than that.
Yeah.
Bro, it is. Seriously, it is though. Like, all you see on the surface is this guy who, like, runs around with a knife and he's pretty crazy. But then, like,
guy that pops out of bins everywhere.
Yeah, because he is everywhere.
Dressed up as an old woman.
Or an old idol from the 80s. Like,
Crikey.
Man.
Oh no.
Incredible.
Flashbacks. No, you're talking about PTSD.
Oh yeah, trust me. It's fucking Majima everywhere in Kiwami. God.
Oh no.
I've talked about that before too on previous episodes. Not enough
definitely.
healing items, and Majima pops out. You're like, oh, please don't.
Probably one of the first things we talked about on this channel, to be fair.
Yeah, probably.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. But yeah, so so definitely, like, just to kind of bring it all to kind of, you know, my final conclusion with it all. So, you know, again, everybody plays games differently. Everybody feels different things. And you don't have to have, you know, emotional scenes. People get emotional playing, you know, FIFA. People get emotional playing Forza and stuff like that because it's just something that's near and dear to their heart. You know, they're a massive sports fan. They're a massive, you know, cars fan. And they maybe just don't have the finances to get that car of their dreams, but they do.
Wow, it's like you're talking about me.
Yeah, I was referencing you just a little bit. But that's the beauty of it, and I'm really looking forward to what's due to come out because, again, a game, The Wolf Among Us 2, is due out next year.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was coming out.
It got picked up. I'm so looking forward to it, very much so. Telltale Games were fantastic.
They were.
And it's a shame. I hope to be back again and just to be able to talk more, maybe in another year, when we get it arranged to talk about it and finally play the new, Tales of the Borderlands 2. I recently bought it on the Black Friday sales. Just those games are my bread and butter. I love them, and there is the hope that eventually, with ourselves, we will look to bring that content out to more people for, again, for people who just want to watch. They don't want to go through that effort and that time. You know what? Just for you, Nathan, I'll play through Danganronpa again, and you can hear my opinion and hear me get angry.
Oh, thank you. I was going to say, when you're talking about people who don't have the time to do it or can't bring themselves back, I can't bring myself back to Telltale anymore. It destroyed me.
Yeah.
All those choices and all the things that happen, I'm just I can't go back. I'm not emotionally ready. So you're really speaking directly to me right now. If you want to stream that, and I'm cool, I'll come watch it, because I haven't got the heart to do that anymore.
No, out of the two of us, I'd say I've definitely got the stronger emotional side, so I'll cry at everything and anything, but I can deal with it. If you want to listen to horror and hear somebody get frightened every time I walk out the room, just watch Matt play horror games. It's great because he gets scared of things that I'm like, you're such a wuss, I'm going out the room, see you later. So there you go. Every game has an emotion: joy, fear, getting angry at your partner because they walk out the room. And then something happens. But yeah.
No, this was a great chat, and it's
absolutely, yeah,
actually a far cry from what we have put out so far. So I'm really glad you brought this topic to us. If you liked this kind of stuff, please let us know. We might dive into some more I don't want to say abstract, but more of the sort of weird things that we don't normally talk about. Maybe you'll do some more design talk, or maybe whatever. Please let us know. And mainly, the important thing is, if you liked what you heard from Fliss, please do go check out the Powered Up Couple on Twitch. Give them a follow, let them know we sent you, and please support friends of the show, because they support us, we support them, and you keep us all going. So go do the things, please. They also have Twitter. We're gonna have all the links in the description, but go and do all the follows. All of theirs, all of ours, all of every other friend of the show. Just go and do all the follows. Do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you for that great input, Pepe.
Thought I'd throw it in there in that moment that you got. I think that there was a kind of a Independence Day kind of speech going on there. I felt I had to throw in some kind of.
I mean, I don't think I'm good at those kind of speeches. I ain't a Kang Kodos doing the presidential speech or nothing. I'm not twirling towards future.
Right.
But with that, I think we should end.
Yeah, good show.
Well, thank you ever so much for having me, guys. It's been an absolute blast and a pleasure.
No, thank you for coming on.
And he's not here, but from the pair of us, both Fliss and Matt from the Powered Up Couple, hope both you and Pepe and all of your listeners stay powered up.
Awesome, thank you. So guys, don't forget to favorite, subscribe, hit that bell button so you get notified. Follow us on Twitter, check us out on podcast platforms, check out the Powered Up Couple. All of the links for everything will be in the description, and we'll catch you next week for another episode of Culture Boys. Bye.
Bye.